Alright.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome
morning.
to Facebook Live. This is the CubiCasa Facebook group. Good, nice sunny Tuesday morning here in California. Today we have a special guest speaker. So please join me in welcoming Aarne Huttunen. He's CubiCasa's CXO. Aarne is a business-oriented web developer and UI UX wizard. He loves to try new things both in business and his personal life. He constantly balances between execution and perfection. During his professional career, he's had over 1 million people interact with his graphics and websites. So he's quite famous, and it's quite nice for me to be right here next to him. So anyway, without further ado, please welcome Aarne.
Thank you.
All right, so Aarne, why don't you start today by telling us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up at CubiCasa.
Alright, so how I ended up to CubiCasa, it's an interesting story. When I was applying for different jobs back in Finland, I landed up into an interview into a consultancy, and they said that you are not the type of guy we want to hire, but I know a guy who wants to hire you. And he directed me to CubiCasa CEO Harry, and the rest is history. So that was an interesting story. And in the actual job application I sent to CubiCasa, I had a picture of myself with a shotgun. And they, like Harry said later to me, that they were too afraid not to hire me. So that's a one tip to land a job that you want.
There you go. Good interviewing advice. Send a picture here of yourself with a shotgun. You'll get hired guaranteed.
Yeah.
All right. So Aarne, tell us a little bit about the CubiCasa app as it exists today, and a little bit about what's coming in the near future.
Alright, so if we start at what we have today, most of the watchers are most likely familiar that what we have in the mobile app, but originally everything started like 2 years ago, and we started to build the technology that makes it possible to generate the floor plan or enough data to make a floor plan from the video. And it took like 1 year to sort of prove that okay, this is possible, and then about 1 year a bit more to get to this point where we have the mobile app that generates the floor plans. And if you think about the service that we have, it basically has 4 components. So there's the web app, which you access through the website. Then there's the mobile apps, currently iOS and Android coming up. Then there's the backend services like the different APIs, and then the scanning technology or scan processing that we have. So those are the 4 components that we are actively working on every day as we speak. And I think the latest things that we've been working on are the language support. So currently we only support English and Finnish back in Finland, but now we are adding Germany, French, Swedish and Norwegian to this set. And I think especially for Canadian audience, I think the French is something that will be used in these time zones as well.
So you're talking about the labels on the floor plans?
Yes. So basically the floor plan will be available in different languages. The web service and the mobile apps, they will be still in English for some time.
Perfect.
What else we've been working on? Integrate API. That's a big thing that allows integrate the mobile app with your order management system. So if you have, let's say, a few hundred or at least tens of orders a month, you might have some kind of order management system in your own backend. So we are now releasing an API that you can integrate your order management with the CubiCasa mobile app and the web service. So those two things currently are things that you can see that we are working on, and then we actually, I think it was 2 weeks ago or 1 week ago, we got quite a significant improvement on the scanning technology. So whenever you upload your scan to us, there's the processing that happens. So I think we were able to increase it 2 times, make it 2 times faster. So if the processing time was something like half an hour, now it's 15 minutes for a 10-minute scan or something like that. So that's quite nice improvement.
Yeah, so we're constantly making improvements, trying to make things better, work faster, more accurate. Again, a lot of the accuracy in the floor plans that you eventually get are determined by the scanning technique that you have. And we have a new live training class that you can attend, but if you want to just watch the same class, we have a video that we've created with exactly the same information. We will be posting that on our website today, and I'll send out a link to everybody. So you should watch that. Even if you're a seasoned scanner, you should watch that to learn sort of what the latest tips and tricks are. We are constantly changing things. So yeah, so I'll post that later, and I suggest that everybody should watch that.
Yes.
All right, so what else? What else do we have in the near future?
Alright, so that's a really good question that we have to always balance, because like we have our internal sort of requests that we know that we should work on to make it better and better in the futures, and then we have like the immediate customer problems that we would love to solve, and we are like constantly balancing between that. Okay, for the next 2 weeks, do we work on these internal issues, or do we work on these customer problems that will give us like quick wins in near future? So I think we should start with the improvements that we are working for you, and then we can talk more about like the improvements that will be available later in the service for sort of the things that you can see but will improve the service quality in long term. So quick edit is something that you can it's something that we see that it's really an important tool to actually edit the floor plans, but we know that it's not in a place that we really think that it's beneficial. So currently it's missing features like remove the floor label like completely and add free text to the floor plan. And the free text could be like an extra room label, or it could be like a title to the floor plan, or some kind of extra description of the space or something. So that's one thing that we are working on. Then fix requests is something that now you have to upload like separate floor plans or files, and then provide a textual input that, okay, what's wrong? So we have a tool in the works that you could draw fixes on inside Quick Edit on top of the floor plan, like with a red pen or something. Maybe write in some textual feedback, send it to us, and it would be much faster for us to like process that, okay, these are the fixes that needs to be done, and not like compare the text somewhere else to the floor plan itself. So that's something that we hope that will ease the use of the Quick Edit and the fix requests.
Yeah. So if you haven't looked at Quick Edit yet, try it out.
Yeah. When the order is delivered, open up the web service from the delivery link, and in bottom left corner of the page you will see the Quick Edit button. So the floor plan will open up in your web browser from there. What else to the Quick Edit? So additional like custom fixed furniture or other graphical elements such as compass. So that's something that we would like to add, and then maybe like interior design elements like tables, tables, chairs, beds, etc. And they won't be actually in the, like, if we like technically how we see that, it won't be in the floor plan data, but it will be visually, you can still see them in the floor plan, which you get out from the service if you want. But let's see how we will like deliver the floor plan. So we don't know that if you will be able to download those from the quick edit only, or will they be saved onto the floor plans that you have in the service. If you have any feedback on that, let us know.
And the way you get feedback to us is just write to help@CubiCasa.com.
Yeah. And then fourth thing on the quick edit is UX improvements. So some of the features currently, they are maybe a bit hidden, or you have to click too many times to reach some of the features, so it's not maybe like super intuitive. So we will try to work on those issues as well, but bear with us.
Yeah, they're working on it.
What else? Then the floor plan design itself. So currently you can change the wall color and floor color, units and language in the future in the floor plan, but that's basically the things that you can change design wise. But thing that we are working on is like different icon sets. So let's say that you want the fridge to have like a text that says fridge. So we could like have these different type of or different designs for fixed furniture, and then you could choose, and it would be like this. You could think that now the design is quite like simple, that there's not too many like lines or descriptions that okay what this icon is. So the other one could be like descriptive design, that it's not maybe as sleek or simplistic, but it provides more information about the fixed furniture itself. So that's one thing we are working on, and this will take some time to implement because we need to actually redraw every of those icons, and they have to be scalable, so it takes time. Of course, like if you have any feedback on those as well, like if you have seen like really nice floor plans before that you have used, please send us an example and we'll take a look that maybe there's something that we haven't seen yet in regard of floor plan designs. Then mobile apps, I think they are in quite good condition already, but there's the biggest drawback currently is that when you start the scan, you don't have any feedback that what you've scanned, or are you scanning in the right distance, or is the speed okay? Okay, there's like this green indicator that okay, the speed is okay, or there's too dark or something, but that's the only feedback you get. So we hope that we could implement some kind of a guidance into the mobile app where you could at least see that okay, this is the maximum distance that the technology can see, so you could keep things within that perimeter or within that distance. If we think about live feedback about the scan itself, like the structures that we get from the scan, I think that's something that in the near future phones will not have enough processing power. So all those like structural recognition features, they need to be done in our servers, and that's the reason that we can provide the immediate feedback on the device. But of course we don't know, maybe they come up with really powerful chips in the future and we might change or see a change in this. Then sort of an untouched ground in the floor plan innovation, if you could say so. So basically the floor plans are just 2D floor plans with no interactivity, basically JPEGs and PNG files that you provide to the listing or in brochures. etc. But of course, like different services we know that provide 3D floor plans or floor plans with hotspots to 360 images, and home report, like as home, like the CubiCasa home report, if you have seen it, it's basically the information is derived from the floor plan data itself and then the surrounding data from the address. So those are the like 3 innovations that we will study, but there's no active development on those items currently. And like if we think about the 3D model, should it be like a static image of a 3D model, or should it be like interactive 3D model that you can spin in your web browser? Then we come back to the fact that okay, some of the listing services don't support interactivity in like iframe or something else. So if we start to make these kind of like floor plan, sort of a floor plan based add-ons, we really have to think that in the end they will be useful for your clients, that you can sell more these kind of add-on services based on the floor plan. And we've seen that the real estate industry as a whole, like it doesn't change that fast, so like the interactivity of different solutions is something that we will have to really think about it, how we will do it.
But we've heard you. We've heard your requests.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the hot topic is the accuracy, I think. Currently, our statement on the accuracy is that it's on average 5% error margin, but that means that all the conditions are optimal, so the scanning style is like on spot, the apartment is not too complex, or it doesn't have like furniture that is like, what's the word for it, like blocking the view to the corners, the floor, etc, etc. And of course the device gives us some limitations. The newest iOS device, they can provide quite similar results, but with iPhone 7 it has some restrictions, for example. And then Android, it's something that we don't have yet enough data to say that how much the difference is between different models.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So if you have an iPhone 7, Christmas is coming. Time to update.
Yeah, and so that's the accuracy on the like measurement side, but of course we have to like acknowledge that that's not the only accuracy. So the second dimension of accuracy is the structural accuracy. So are all the fixed furniture there? Are the kitchen features in the right place? In the laundry room, where are the laundry machine or heater or things like that? So I think on that regard we are fairly accurate and on spot, and we rarely miss any of those features. So that's the second part of the accuracy question. Then if we think about the like future, that what might happen is that there will be new phones with better sensors, better cameras, better tracking, better AR capabilities. So like we are actively looking on this, that okay, what is happening with the sensors, and is there something that we could use to improve the accuracy? But at this point it's more of a research type of a project and not like active product development, that we know that there's some goal that we can get into. So we are doing the research with different phones, with different sensors, but there's no like clear outcome from that research yet. But if we get to some interesting results, we will share those when we know more.
So yeah, if you have any feature requests, any bugs that you find, please send those to help@CubiCasa.com. Our product and engineering team reviews those every week, and we do listen to you, we do care. So send those in and we will review them. Again, if you're concerned about the accuracy of your scans, we've done some tests. So we had some users who scanned first without any training. We ran them through the training, which is called How to Scan Best Practices, and then we had them scan again, and there was a world of difference. So we know this training is super important and that it works. So we will be posting a link to the video for that later on today, so please check that out if you haven't already, and that's important.
Yeah.
All right, so we had a few questions. Hi, Rich. Nice to have you with us today. Rich said, how do you scan stairs? It's easy to scan stairs. You just go to the bottom of the stairs, pan up to show the stairs, and then just walk up them. The hardest part about scanning stairs is not falling as you're trying to walk up the stairs and look at the phone. So I've done that. So just be very careful. All right, and then we had a question about the new Leica camera. Do we have plans in the future of supporting different cameras like the Leica?
I don't think so.
Okay, not right now.
I think one of the key features of our service is that you don't need any extra hardware, and we are super proud of that. So keep it simple, just the mobile app, and that's it.
And we did do a test with a house that we called like a hoarder type of house, where there was stuff all over the floor and you couldn't see where the floor met the wall. That didn't work. So if you have a lot of furniture that's just blocking everything, it's not possible for our software to determine the measurements of the rooms. So keep that in mind. If you walk into a home that's just where you can't even see the floor, then maybe turn around and walk out.
Yeah. So if you want to get some insight to that, is that when we are processing the scan and we detect that there's this is not floor and it's higher from the floor, we try to eliminate those furnitures to get just an empty space. But if there's just too much stuff in the room, we can't define that, okay, this is the floor and these are the furniture, and we can't remove the furniture. So that's the problem.
All right, so AJ says, pretty sure it's the same tech Matterport used to be. So our floor plans look a lot like the floor plans that you get when you do Matterport. And I know a lot of you are Matterport camera owners and do scan with Matterport. The floor plans that come from Matterport are created through us. So that's why our floor plans look pretty much the same as the ones you get from Matterport. The difference is, if you just want the floor plan and you don't need the whole Matterport 3D, space, then you can just take this 5-minute video and get the floor plan from that. The list price is $34.90, which is cheaper than having to spend all that time scanning a home, like an hour or two, uploading, paying for processing fees if you're on one of the older types of accounts, and you get the floor plan back in 1 business day, as opposed to waiting for processing and then ordering your floor plan and waiting another 2 business days. So just remember that if your customers only want floor plans along with still photography, something like that, then we're the solution for you. Much easier, much less expensive. If you are a photographer as well, you can join our certified photographer program that gets you 2 things. It gets you a 30% discount, right? And you get a place on our website that shows your logo, your company, a description. So it's another avenue for people who are looking for floor plan providers to reach out to you. So free advertising, right?
Yep. Other questions?
So AJ has a question about doors. Is it okay for us to move the doors open and close them in the recording to get around them? I took a scan on my Android phone and it seemed to work all right. But is that something I can get away with in the future? Okay, so the answer to that is, if you can have a door open, because for example, there are some closet doors that if I opened it, it would block the hallway. All right, then all you do is you get to that closet or that door that's closed, pan away so that you're not looking at the door. Open the door with your other hand, and then you can pan back in video inside that closet or wherever that room is that had the door closed. All right, so just make sure when you open the door, that's okay. Just make sure you're not pointing the camera at that door while you're doing that.
Yes, and the reason for that is that we don't want plain moving objects into the video frame that we are getting. So if you think about the moving object that you only see in the camera, it like shifts the position of the device you are holding. So that's why you have to scan somewhere else to keep the position while you move things. And that's the reason. Sometimes it still works, sometimes we are able to keep the position right, but there's the risk that it might happen, so just to be safe, pan away, open the door, continue scanning.
Yeah. The important thing to remember too is the sweet spot of the camera is between 3 to 8 feet. So always make sure if you're entering a room, like there's a bed and there's 2 sides on the bed, make sure you walk down each of the sides until you're between 3 to 8 feet from that wall, and then back out and go around and scan the other side. But we're always looking for context. So we don't want to see just you zooming in on where the floor meets the wall. You know, show a wider angle. Just walk parallel to the wall that you're scanning. Show where that wall is meeting the floor. You only need to scan about 3 foot high on that wall, and you should be good to go. But if you just scan a blank wall, which is white, then we lose context because we don't know where you are. It's very similar to Matterport scans, right? You always need that context. And yes, Rich, we will sign you up for the certified photographer program. Don't worry, definitely. All right, I wanted to walk out of a sliding door to backyard. Does it measure the outdoors?
Do you want to go or?
You can answer that one.
Okay, so if it's a patio or deck, porch, even a pool, you could scan those areas and they will be in the floor, like in the floor plan. But garden things like trees or different bushes or what else there could be, fountains. So those won't be included. We don't have a library for those. I don't know in the future if we do more like AI training to detect the trees and etc. We might be able to add them, but at this point, decks and those kind of indoor-like areas should be okay.
Yeah. So remember, we don't base our technology on infrared sensors, so we don't care about the sun. We play nice with the sun, which is why when you go to scan a property, you should open all the curtains and let the sun shine in, because the brighter the rooms are, the better. So scanning outside is definitely okay. And you don't want to go out and scan an entire field, right? But scanning patios and balconies works okay. Is there a maximum size to a floor plan, asks Betty.
So the sort of silent limit is 10,000 square feet. So if you go above that, we should charge you more. If you go above that limit once, we are not like tracking you down. But if, let's say that you scan commercial buildings, then we will contact you separately. Some of the older phones have like limitations on how long the scan can be. So if you go above 10 minutes, 15 minutes, iPhone 7 will have some issues. Android is something that we don't yet have enough data to say that okay how it will perform on bigger scans. But what's the actual maximum size? I can't remember how big we've done, but it was like a huge industrial hall, and it turned out to be okay, but the lines begin to be so thin that when you get out that huge floor plan, I wouldn't call it a floor plan anymore. So it's designed for the residential house size, and the 10,000 is a good rule of thumb.
And for the most part, most residential homes don't go over 10,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And maybe if they do, you should be Matterporting those anyway. So, yeah, okay. So yes, Rich, do not worry. I will reach out to you personally after this Facebook Live. And we will be recording this, and this will be posted on our group. Okay, so we have time for one more question. Betty asks, if there's a main house connected by a garage and a guest house total, it will be about 9,000 K. Okay.
Yeah.
And you can do that. You can walk out, if you have a guest house that's not too far away, what's the maximum you can walk, would you say?
I think it's like 50 feet.
All right, so if your guest house is about 50 feet away, just go outside, scan along, then walk into the guest house, scan that. That works. No problem. All right. So I did want to, in closing, mention that we have Anastasia, who is our marketing person, who's been monitoring this session, and she's answering your questions. So shout out to Anastasia. Thank you so much for your time and your support. Yeah, that's really cool that we have that. So I appreciate that. I wanted to also give a shout out to my friend, John Hubbard, whose patent for Gibbet mount finally came through. Much love to you, John. But, you know, I knew that you're going places, so we're all excited to see where all that heads. Anyway, if you have any other questions, just type them in or reach out to help@CubiCasa.com, and we will get back to you. If you've asked questions during this podcast, we will get back and answer those for you as well. And so the next time we will be back, we're going to take a little break during Christmas. We'll be back during the new year, and hopefully we'll have some pretty exciting guests coming on then too. So thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned. We'll be back, and have a wonderful holiday season, and take care. Bye.
Bye.